started with the Roslyn Mayor race. Running for Roslyn City Mayor tonight are Brent, Hals, the incumbent, and Doug Johnson. We'll start with their opening statements. Brent, you get to go first.
My name is Brent Hals, and I'm the Mayor of Roslyn currently. Welcome you all, and I thank the League of Women Voters for holding this. I've been in Kittitas County for about 35 years. I've lived in Roslyn for about 25 years. I have 2 bachelor degrees from Central Washington University. I literally moved to Roslyn to raise my child because I did not like the bigger cities that I had lived in, like Owensboro, and for a short period of time, Seattle. And so I fell in love with the town, and I've stayed ever since. I ran a business in Cleon for 3 years. I've worked for a software company in Cleon for the last 20 years. And I just enjoyed the area so much that when the opportunity came and 2 mayors resigned in a row, I decided that I would apply at that point. I was appointed by council, and then luckily elected after that by the citizens of Roslyn. And I would like to serve a full 4-year term now that I've finished one of the resigning mayor's terms coming up, and I ask for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Doug.
Thanks to the League of Women Voters for sponsoring this event. Since 1975, I have taught in 4 county schools, most recently at Cleon and Roslyn High School. I have fought wildfires, been a timber thinner, and a building contractor. I have run 3 small businesses and served on city council in the 1980s and 1990s. As mayor, I will establish an administration of transparency, clarity, cooperation, and communication. I will work with the full community on challenges we face. One of these challenges is the threat of wildfire. We will reduce this threat through continuing fuels management in and around town and preparation for action and evacuation in the event of fire. We're experiencing unprecedented growth in Roslyn and the surrounding area. Managing this growth requires us to be nimble and resilient in reacting to a constantly changing situation. For example, together we can address the pressure on infrastructure, parking, and the effects of houses converting to the rental market. We can also address affordable housing problem with easier access to ADUs, partly through making it easier and cheaper to provide utilities to accessory dwellings, including the once historic and prevalent bachelor houses. There are many other issues needing ongoing attention. One of these is the value and morale of city staff, the fire department, and of the Planning and Historical Preservation Commission and the Citizens Advisory Committee. With the growth issues we are facing, the Planning Commission work situation is especially important. The work of this commission needs to be celebrated and returned to its former, more robust condition. I will work along these lines to validate its work and concurrently get us on track to streamline work so applications don't take excessive time to process. These important issues require steady administrative leadership and oversight. I'm retired. I can devote time necessary to address multiple complex and nuanced problems confronting the city. I will build trust with all shareholders in this grand endeavor that we call Roslyn. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, since you were here for the primary race, some of these questions may sound familiar to you. Hopefully we'll have some new ones. We're going to take turns asking and answering questions. So we'll start with Doug on this one. How do you think our city is going to increase revenue to support the increasing demand for services?
Well, there's always an increasing demand for services, and costs always go up. In 1975, we paid $17.50 for our water and sewer bill, and now it's $125 or so. We can increase revenue also by increasing business in town. We can establish a business park possibly east of the City Hall. We can listen to the Roslyn Downtown Association and their ideas for improving the economic situations of Roslyn. In this way, we can get more money coming into the city.
Thank you. Brent.
Well, I agree with everything you said. When there is an increase for services, that means there's an increase in people, which also increases the amount of ratepayers. So that in itself kind of takes care of itself. Certainly new businesses would increase the revenue, and I absolutely agree that would be a wonderful thing for all of Roslyn. It's kind of up to the owners of the properties to create new business or expand the business that they already have. The area behind City Hall absolutely would be great as a light industrial area for businesses that we haven't seen, and I think that there could be quite generate type of revenues there. So, you know, revenue in a municipality is always going to be an issue, and especially in a smaller town. And I think that staff and council does their best to try to find ways to increase it, and we all will continue to do that.
Thank you. Brent, this one's for you to start with. Our brand new sidewalks are crumbling. How can the city seek restitution?
It's true over by Harper's that there was a little bit of a failure from concrete, but most of the new sidewalks look great and are functioning properly. The ADA accessibility is fantastic. I'm very proud of how they turned out. If there does need to be sidewalk replacement for safety issues and public access, we certainly will do that as it comes up. But I would certainly not designate them as a problem.
Thank you. Doug?
I would hope that any contractors that work in the city do a quality job, of course, and if they don't, they should be responsible for repairing the damage that is occurring. I think the sidewalks look great too. I know there have been a few problems, especially outside of the base camp, and those problems are being addressed in the city council meetings from what I've been hearing here.
Thank you. Okay, Doug, it's your turn to go first. There are currently openings on both the Citizens Advisory Committee and the Planning and Historic Preservation Commission. The mayor appoints new members. Do you think the chairpersons of the CAC and Planning Commission should also have a role in the appointments? Or what weight would you give their opinions?
I would give their opinion a lot of weight, and also the current members. The people on those committees are the experts on those committees, and they would know what we need to do. So I would definitely confer with the chairman or chairwoman, as the case may be, and with the members on the committee and see what kind of person they want. Hopefully we could interview the applicants, and it has to be a collaborative, communicating type of situation.
Thank you. Brent?
Again, I totally agree with them. Every time I've appointed anybody, as I've been mayor for 2 years, I've talked to the chairman of each of those two commissions and committee. They're absolutely involved. If they felt that they wanted to involve the other members in a decision, then that would be fine. We've filled every position with the applicants that we've had, so it's not like we're turning people away. So the fact that there's openings on each of them, one opening or maybe two on the CSC, it's just we're just waiting for people to apply. And absolutely, we'll talk to Pitt about who steps up.
Okay, thank you. Brent, you get to go first this time. Do you support passage of a city resolution that would enable Roslyn to receive part of the existing sales tax collected in the city to help address affordable housing issues?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that just seems kind of a no-brainer. I know the council is going to address that next Tuesday, and we're working towards those kind of things that, it's another revenue source, and certainly the city of Roslyn will never ignore a possible revenue source, especially for something important like affordable.
Thank you. Doug?
Of course I agree with that. When I moved here in 1975, I was paid $9,000 a year to teach school. I bought a house for $12,000. 3 years later, I bought a house for $10,000. So 1 year's teacher salary would buy a house. Now a beginning teacher probably makes $40,000, but the house costs $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. Affordable housing is a critical issue. We haven't been able to, salaries don't keep up with what houses cost around here. So if we can find a way to get a little more income to increase affordable housing, I'm all for it.
Thank you. So Doug, you get to go first. How important do you feel Roslyn's historic integrity is, and why?
Well, the why is why I'm here. The historical integrity is what attracted many of us to the town of Roslyn. I noticed it when I was 12 years old. My parents brought me through town to go to San Jose. So I think historical integrity is of critical importance. It's what makes Roslyn what it is. And it's what brings people here. It brings a lot of economic activity here. So I would say historical integrity is of primary importance to Roslyn. Its economy, the people that live here, and the people that visit here.
Thank you. Brent?
And of course, that's the exact correct answer. And agree with it. It is also what drew me to Roslyn, and it's what keeps me in Roslyn for 25 years. I mean, there's lots of opportunity to go elsewhere, but I love this town, so I couldn't imagine it if it were to be more modern and not be the same.
Thank you. Brent, you get to go first. Will you consider significantly raising permitting fees to cover the cost of new construction and development?
Well, significantly, I certainly would consider it. Obviously that would be a decision the council would make, but we've recently looked at our fee structures, and I believe that we have increased some to fall more in line with towns of our size, as well as towns in the area like Ellensburg and Cleveland. But absolutely, I mean, whatever it takes to keep the budget balanced, we would absolutely do it. And certainly we're going through a period of growth where there is more and more building, and if fees need to be raised to be appropriate, that's fine. Ultimately, I believe that the fees need to be the exact amount that covers staff time and it covers the city's costs. We're not allowed to really make a profit on fees, on bills and things like that. So we have to make sure that we're covering our costs. And that's why we've done at least one study since I've been here, in just 2 years.
Thank you. Doug?
Well, I feel that the fees should cover the costs that come with new buildings, but I don't think we should significantly raise fees just to get more money that way. It costs enough to build a place already. I've done it myself a couple times, and it's extremely expensive. So I would make reasonable fee increases necessary as inflation dictates.
Thank you. Doug, what immediate steps would you take to make the Roslyn website current and accessible to the public if you are elected?
Well, the Roslyn website is getting better, but it's still a little bit difficult to manage, and you still can't always get current meeting minutes and things like that. So I would hire whoever we need to hire to get it done. I know that they're working on it. The website is obviously a good way to communicate to the citizens of Roslyn, and I think it's a very important way, because I've tried many times to find the meeting minutes of the previous meetings on the website. It is getting more current as we speak.
Thank you. Brent?
That's right. I appreciate you noticing that, and we do work on that all the time. And council, I think, has even put that more money in the budget. I mean, we're looking at revamping the website, but I mean, it is a complicated matter with all the records and things that we have attached, link by link, to the different pages. So a full revamp of the website is costly. So currently, the plan is where we're at is we're trying to make it more timely, as you mentioned, and we'll continue to do that until it's in the budget to redo the entire front.
Thank you. Brent, do you feel the Roslyn Mayor and Council should work on the 2020 city budget in the last 6 weeks of 2019, or would it be better to start and finish sooner?
Absolutely sooner. I mean, we're working on it right now. The administrative committee has already started going over the budget amendment for this year and the budget needs of staff and the different committees for next year. Staff is actually working on the budget right now, and as of next week, we will be going it over. So waiting until the last minute's never been my plan, and it won't happen under my administration.
Thank you. Doug?
Well, I think it's better if you can get it done earlier, but we've got a great staff and they're busy. We have to go with what they can get done, when they can get done, and when we can have meetings. I've been to several budget meetings, and it's a lengthy and complicated and nuanced project, figuring out the budget every year. So get it done as soon as you can and go from there.
Thank you. Doug, Upper Kittitas County used to be known as the ORV capital of Washington. Could be a U, I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Are there conversations with the conservatory to balance recreation with conservation?
Would you repeat the last part of that?
Are there conversations with the conservatory to balance recreation with conservation? Or do you recommend them? Yes.
Well, sure, I'd recommend conversations to balance recreation with conservation. We need to communicate about everything. We need to communicate with ORV users. We need to make it work so that everybody can get a great environment. We need to have a healthy forest. We need to have nice trails that aren't eroded. I remember the sound up until the early 1990s of motorcycles roaring all over Roslyn, the slate piles, the ridge, and I remember the ruts on the ridge. I would like to protect the ridge from ORV use. ORVs can be used in many parts of the Tianaway. I hike there all the time and I see them, and I see the results of their driving around there too. But of course we need to communicate about conservation and about balancing different people's needs and recreational styles.
Thank you. Brent?
Yeah, absolutely. There's nowhere in the Roslyn Forest or in the city of Roslyn that you're allowed to ride an ORV. So I know that it was prevalent in the 70s and 80s, and that was removed quite a while ago. So they can go to Tianaway, they can go up above Liberty and Jeep and do those kind of things. But I think that the city of Roslyn, even pre-us, have done a great job of limiting that.
Thank you. Brent? Would annexing Ronald with Roslyn be a good benefit to both cities?
That's a really interesting question. I think it could be a benefit to the city of Roslyn. We obviously share a sewer system and a water system, so there really is nothing that we would have to change other than we would be taking taxes away from the county. And I don't know how popular that would be with the county. And really, it would be something for the citizens of Ronald to decide, I would think, even though they don't have a voting kind of situation up there. I mean, if Ronald would come to the city of Roslyn and ask for that, I would be all for it. But I'm pretty sure that Kittitas County would probably be against it.
Thank you. Doug?
As things stand right now, I would not be in favor of annexing Ronald. However, if we could start a conversation if they're interested in doing that. I always believe that we need to talk to all shareholders in any issue, and I would be open to any kind of discussion. But as I said, at present, I don't see it being a good thing for the city of Roslyn.
Thank you. So it appears you both have comparable views on several topics we've discussed here tonight. Please identify one or two ways you feel you're different from your opponent.
Well, I'm retired and I'm older. And I have a lot of time during the day. I could go to committee meetings and commission meetings. That's the main difference would be that I am retired and I have time to go down and visit staff and all the people in Roslyn and see what they think and what they want done.
Thank you. Brent?
I don't know that we do have a lot of differences. I mean, I've known Doug for quite a while. I know his family. I'm close friends with a couple of members of his family, and we both love Roslyn, and we're both doing this for basically the same reason, to protect the city we love. So I really can't think of anything.
Thank you. Brent, how are we going to maintain our identity as a small mountain town if the Bullfrog Flats proposal goes through?
I was hoping, I don't know the answer to that. I think, I'd heard about this proposal a little bit before people saw it on Facebook, and it flabbergasted me. I don't understand how the infrastructure of this area can handle something like that, but, I was here when Trend West started, and everybody was concerned then about how the infrastructure here was going to handle it. So I guess they have to go through all their hoops, and they have to do their environmental impacts, and they have to convince the county and the cities that what they want to do is appropriate and can be handled.
Thank you. Doug?
It's going to be tough to maintain the atmosphere of Roslyn if we get 1,000 new homes in there, which means 2,000 or 3,000 more people living within 2 or 3 miles of Roslyn. There are going to be issues of our night sky darkness. There are going to be issues of air pollution, of traffic. We already have issues of traffic. There's going to be issues of noise. In 1975, my brother came to visit me here on a Sunday afternoon, and I lived up on Alaska Street. He drove all the way through town and down Pennsylvania and up to my house, and he said, "This is one dead town." The only living thing I saw driving all the way up to your house, which is all the way through Roslyn, was a dog sleeping in the middle of the street. So things have changed, and they're changing fast. I think it's going to be a difficult issue, and we're going to have to do a lot of communication and a lot of collaboration and figure out how to maintain things like our night sky, our clean air, our water, the noise problems.
Thank you. If you are not elected, what city issue or idea will you continue to work on, if any?
I'm interested in the CAC, which is the Citizens Advisory Committee on the forest lands around Roslyn. I have hiked, biked, skied over 2,000 times on the ridge of Roslyn, and I continue to do so many times per week. So that is one of my main interests about the city of Roslyn.
Thank you. Brent?
I agree with that. I would certainly continue to come forward and try to keep the forest healthy. And obviously, the water transmission line replacement is something that we absolutely need to do. So, if I was not elected, I would continue to vote council and suggest that they keep moving forward.
Thank you. How do you feel about dark sky ordinances inside the city limits?
I'm absolutely in favor of that. I've said that to the Planning and Historic Preservation Commission, and as soon as we can get that ordinance passed, what's going to happen.
Thank you. Doug?
Well, I just brought that subject up for a reason, because I think it's very important. I grew up in the suburbs of Seattle and watched the sky change over 18 years. It changed to where you couldn't see the Milky Way anymore. So, dark sky ordinance is a great thing. I appreciate the work that the Ridge Committee did to get dark sky into the Suncadia Resort.
Thank you. Do you think it will be important for Roslyn to participate in Cleon's planning for Bullfrog development?
I don't think we have a lot of power there, but it definitely would be important, especially if we were asked to participate in those discussions, because we have an interest in what happens out there. The Bullfrog planned development, 47 degrees north, is only 2 or 3 miles from Roslyn. So, yeah, if Cleon would talk to us about it, that'd be great.
Thank you. Brent?
Yeah, totally agree. We're going to try to be at the table. We're going to do our best to be at the table. And I'm sure Cleon's going to be a good neighbor and listen to us, as well as the county, because the county will be involved as well. For sure, we want to have our voice heard.
Thank you. What is your vision of Roslyn in the next 5 years?
The next 5 years, I really want to continue to try to control the growth that we're seeing. And obviously, we're getting X amount of new homes built and X amount of business changeover. And, I just want to make sure that as that continues, because it will, that we do our best to make sure they do follow all the historical guidelines and that they do be the best neighbors that they can be as new people join us or new businesses kind of serve our people.
Thank you. Doug?
My vision for the next 5 years is that Roslyn maintains the character that it has, that we continue to infill the city. We have about 200 building lots left, and that I would expect to see more additional accessory dwelling units, so we can, and the bachelor houses I spoke of earlier, so that we can make more affordable housing. I would hope to see a continuing thriving business community, possibly expanding, and a great place to visit and a great place to live.
Thank you. This is going to sound familiar. State Highway 903 is a 2-lane road that runs through Roslyn and is the only exit for people living in Ronald and beyond. Is Roslyn important in ensuring a safe exit in case a wildfire requires evacuation, and what should its role be?
Is Roslyn important?
Right, is Roslyn, sorry. What is Roslyn's role in ensuring a safe exit in case of evacuation?
Roslyn's the way out of town. You turn both lanes of 903, headed south, use the coal miner trail as necessary. And it isn't the only exit out of Roslyn. There are ways to get onto Suncadia's property from Roslyn if we can get keys to the gates and make agreements with them in the event of a catastrophic exodus situation.
Thank you. Brent?
Yes, that's all correct. And there's above the lake, they can also access the Suncadia property right below Speedia, below the dam. So there are other alternatives. I do want to punch through behind the fire department to South 8th Street and create a better emergency egress, rather than using 2nd Street, which is our current comp plan egress. That road is very hilly and kind of one lane, And so if we're going to try to get emergency vehicles in and out and panic people in and out, 2nd Street is probably the worst way to get out. So that's why I really want to make the South Bay Street our new exit as far as emergency egress goes.
Thank you. If you're elected, what zoning or city policy would you change and why?
You know, I've been elected and I've been there 2 years, and it's not my job to change policy. So I would just continue to work with staff and help staff when I can. And then when policy changes come to council, I will listen to what they want, and we'll record their votes and change as they change.
Thank you. Doug?
I would like to continue to work with the planning commission to streamline things, to get things defined, to be nimble, as I said earlier, because things are constantly changing. That is one focus that I would have as mayor of the city.
Thank you. We've sort of danced around this a little bit this evening. This one just says, so what do you think is the biggest challenge facing Roslyn right now, and how would you address it as mayor?
The biggest challenge facing Roslyn is the threat of catastrophic wildfire, and we are taking steps to address that on the ridge. We need to work in the city too. We need to figure out egress, as we just talked about. So it is a multifaceted problem. One thing about that problem that we need to address right away is the health of the forests. We have trees dying in the forest. I know that there's talk about whether to cut the trees down or not. So we need to get good professional advice on these issues so that we can continue to survive as a town and be a great place to live.
Thank you. Brent?
I absolutely agree that threat of wildfire is the most important thing. Our forester has addressed the dead trees, and we are going to cut them down. There's different times of the year that we're going to be able to do that, and it is going to happen. We can't just leave them up there. But since we both agree on fire, I would say probably pedestrian safety would be, maybe a 180 as important. The people coming in and out of town on the weekends, the speeds are just increasing. I want to make the speed limit in the entire city 25 miles an hour. So that includes before the A&J or Coal Chute restaurant. And so we've called DOT probably every 6 months since I've been here. We continue to request that. The previous chief of police is supportive and also helped us in those communications. And the current police chief in Cleveland has also discussed it with me. So not that people coming on Sunday down the hill would slow down, but we're going to do everything we can.
Thank you. How do you propose to fix the strangled traffic in the downtown core?
Well, and Doug and I get these same questions every time. And, as we've said, we need to enhance the agreements that we have with Sunpedia. We need to increase the signage to help people know where they can park legally and safely outside of the downtown. We need to better help the people that aren't familiar with the area where they can go and park their trailers, where they can go and park their cars, and easily walk to downtown. Here in Seattle, it's no big deal to walk 6 blocks to where you want to go. But apparently in Roslyn, if you're 1 block away from downtown, you're just going to illegally park in the first thing you see. And obviously then it becomes an enforcement problem. And I make a lot of conversations with law enforcement about those kind of things.
Thank you. Doug?
Good answer. Yeah, establish another parking lot like the one we have east of town, or behind the city hall. Encourage walking into town. Better signage, more signage. Make it easy to figure out where to park so that we can get into town and not be clogging up the town with cars all over the place looking for places to park and parking all the way up to my house on 3rd Street. So I think it's doable. If we put 3,000 more people in a couple miles from town, we're going to have to revisit the whole thing.
Thank you. Is global warming a concern for our town? And if it is, what is your vision for Roslyn's response?
Global warming is a concern for every town, every village, every country, every place in the world. It's a serious concern, and it's happening. And 5 years ago, we put solar panels on our roof. We would encourage doing those kinds of renewable energy projects. It would be nice to have a solar panel manufacturing place, a little industrial park behind town. Global warming is causing the problems on the ridge. It's going to continue to cause them. They're going to continue to get worse as far as the forests go. So I think we all need to be savvy about what's happening with global warming. Cleveland has just got a new electric powered truck, a small vehicle they can use getting around town. Perhaps we could go that direction. But I think global warming is one of the key existential problems in the world today, and the city needs to do everything we can to address it.
Thank you. Brent?
Yes, I agree with all of that. I do, we have talked to Mayor McGowan and a little bit with council about putting a solar farm back by our overflow ponds behind that dump there. So, I mean, that would be something that the city ourselves could do to help the problem with. I mean, there's no question that it comes down to personal responsibilities, and people need to do recycling and use as much green energy as they can on their own. We're all in it together for sure.
Thank you. What can be done to enhance a sense of community in Roslyn so all residents not only feel respected and included, but also feel they have a voice in the city?
Well, you know, I'm sorry if people don't feel like they have a voice in the city, because I mean, our staff and myself always tries to listen, always tries to include everyone. And I don't know that I've ever lived in a community that has a better sense of community than Roslyn. So to imply that we've lost it or that it's gone away, it doesn't make any sense to me. I completely disagree with that synopsis of the city of Roslyn.
Thank you. Doug?
I've always felt a sense of community here. I think it could be enhanced in a few ways. We can invite people to come in and do the comments from the public early in the council meetings. I would like to see us allow people to have 5 minutes to speak like Cleon does instead of just 3 minutes that we have. And as much research, much reaching out as we can do as a city government towards the citizens, like flyers along with the bills and posting what's happening in the city. Those kinds of things can enhance a sense of community. But I agree with Brent. I think that we have a good sense of community now, and we can always work on making it better.
Thank you. How would you finance the water and storm projects that are expensive and long overdue?
Well, again, when I moved here, it was $17.50 for a water bill. Now it's over $120. Of course, inflation we're going to have to pay more in our water bills to finance new projects. That's just the way it works. Costs go up, people's salaries go up, equipment goes up. There will have to be some increase as we go along, just like there have been of over $100 in just 44 years, which is about 5 or 6 times what it used to be. We can also reach out to government agencies that supply grants for these kinds of things and research and find out where we can get money that way.
Thank you. Brent?
Yeah, absolutely. Grants are going to be the way we would want to do that for the storm and the water. We have already acquired, I believe, a grant for overall storm beyond what the studies that we had done, I think 10 years ago. We're finishing up one more project, that the Penn Place bottleneck, and now we're going to have a holistic look at the entire system and figure out, where the next steps are. I believe that's already funded. And then the funding of the transmission line, we're still working on that, but that will definitely be a combination of grants and matching. We just that being said, we have to do research and find the money.
Thank you. Roslyn is currently borrowing from its reserves to fund daily operations, including staff wages. Since this is not sustainable long-term, how are you planning to fix this?
Roslyn does not borrow from ourselves to pay our staff. I don't know who is passing that information around, but that's completely not true. We recently have been reimbursed from FEMA for the fire break that we have, and our reserves are back to a normal level. And the borrowing we did for the fire break will be paid in full this year, or 2020, basically, when we put the budget together. And then that everybody will be able to see that when the budget comes out.
Thank you. Doug?
Well, it doesn't sound like we're borrowing money to pay staff members, and that's a good thing. We are getting the FEMA grant, the FEMA money back, $300,000, $270,000, and that will really boost our reserve, which we need to take care of. We budget at home, and I think we need to budget as a city. We need to always have a healthy reserve waiting for us if we need it.
Thank you. What is your stance on the draining Lake Cachis proposal?
That's a complex issue. They're going to drain a lake down 80 feet. And there are a lot of people, including my sister, who live up by Lake Cachis, while she has property there. In Normandy Park, Washington, there are signs, don't drain Lake Cachis. And so there are people with an interest there that have money on the west side. There are some advantages to draining Lake Cachis. We could supply colder water to the fish in the fall, and they need the cold water, the salmon need cold water to survive. So it's a complicated problem, and we'd have to do a lot more research on it. I'm not so sure that Roslyn has a lot of sway in what happens to Lake Cachis.
Thank you. Brent?
Yes, Roslyn doesn't have any sway as far as I know. If somebody were to ask me a question, and I think it's a federal project, I certainly would say, what's best for the salmon is appropriate, but I'm not sure what that question came up both nights.
Thank you. Well, we've sort of gotten through most of the questions for the evening, so I think we're going to plunge straight to closing statements. Yeah, Doug, you want to?
The job of mayor is a job of leadership. Leadership is about prioritizing, organizing, delegating, asking, listening, acting. We have great people in Roslyn. They are on council, and they are on staff, and they're in committees, and they are members of the citizenry. Our staff, council members, firefighters, aid workers, police officers, and committee members know their jobs. They are the experts. As mayor, I will ask and listen and give them the support they need. They show up every day, many of them volunteers and employees putting in extra time, thought, and effort. I will do the same. I will show up. That's how problems are solved, and that's what leadership looks like. Working in concert with those on the front lines doing the work day in and day out. That's how we get it done for the people of Roslyn. Thanks again to the League of Women Voters for sponsoring this event. Thank you for coming to this event. Thanks to all those who run for office for these essentially volunteer positions. Thanks for caring and thanks for voting. This is how democracy looks.
Thank you. Brent?
I'd like to also thank the League of Voters and all the folks that came and all the people online. I'd like to think that I am a leader that's leading right now. So I don't know really, what to say to everybody other than please vote for me. I feel like I'm doing a great job, and I really enjoy the city of Roslyn, and it means so much to me to do my part at this time. So thank you very much.
Thank you. So right now we're going to go through our thank you list, and then we'll have a big round of applause. We want to thank the Putnam Centennial Center for generously donating this space for the event, as well as providing coffee and water. We want to thank the League and community members here tonight who volunteered, and if you support these events, and especially if you want them to continue, please feel free to drop a donation in our hat on the back on the literature table. Don't forget to visit our 2019 Voters Guide on our website at kittitasleague.org. It goes live on the 18th. We'll link to the campaigns, sites of the candidates, their financial filings, if any, this video, their candidate questionnaire responses. So there'll be a lot of information there. We urge you to check it out and to share it. And most of all, thanks to all the candidates who came here tonight, who've chosen to step